Welcome back to Mega Man Zero. Last time we tried to retrieve some data and only got some of it, but we also ended off the episode with an attack on the resistance base, so let's go foil that real quick. We're teleported to the end of the disposal center area, and once you know it, the moment we step out, they're just airdropping our boss in. So this is Hittite Hotthindrance. Hell of a name, huh? Right, so he's gotta have some sort of weakness. And well, it's actually several parts of it. So, Hittite here has a bunch of different spots on him that you need to hit. I'm hitting a spot that drops mines as it crawls along, like so. The part above that, the little cap right there, will drop little flying enemies. And then we've also got one more type of bomb from the top there. There we go. Yeah, so it'll basically just drop a bunch of bombs that, you can destroy, but it's really easy to hit yourself with those, so do be careful with them. Now, this is a timed mission. The closer this thing gets to the resistance base, the worse. If it gets in and explodes, you fail the mission, and not only that, you skip a vast majority of the game. You are taken right to an endgame mission. So, don't. Simply do not fail this mission. Now, this is definitely a mission that's a little bit annoying because, you know, there is that time pressure, but there are also cyber elves to get, one of which needs to be obtained by destroying these flying guys, so make sure to save them for later. Plus, they're also the easiest thing to destroy on this whole mechanoloid, so, you know, I'm thinking, yeah, you want to keep those alive if you can. These things are annoying. And if you have an A or an S rank, this guy comes in. If I weren't doing so well, the battle would be over, but we do actually want him to keep moving for a little while at least. Yeah, this guy's got a bunch of different attacks. He's got grenades, he's got Vulcan shots, he's got trap bombs, which basically, if he hits you with like the weird orb things, that won't hurt you, it'll just keep you in place for a moment, but obviously, if that happens, that's real bad. So yeah, like I said briefly, you don't actually want to end this mission too soon. Unless, of course, you're playing New Game Plus, in which case, kill this guy as soon as you can. Of course, you also want to destroy some of his, little flying dudes so that you can get a better enemy rank, but other than that, yeah. Yeah, I managed to not get full points on enemy, because I just didn't destroy enough. Maybe if I blew up more of the bombs, but I don't know, that backfired on me too many times for me to really want to do consistently. So why do you want that guy to survive for so long, you might be asking? Well, we've got a few different things that we can do. You'll remember I did get that leftover bit of data in the last mission. But before anything else, I do want to talk to people first, because we've got some text updates. Nothing too major from Andrew there, he doesn't give you another elf, but, you know, it's nice that he changes his dialogue a bit. Mostly the characters with faces change their dialogue. CL, if you try to talk to her, she usually just says the thing she said at the end of the last mission. Anyway though, yeah, like I said, we got a bit of data the last mission. Servo has made the triple rod. Honestly, if you want to get all your weapons as soon as possible, you might want to just do the recovered data mission as soon as possible, so you can get the triple rod. However, the next weapon we get is based on getting the triple rod, and then going through another mission, so yeah, I kinda wasted a little bit of time by getting forced into a thing, rather than getting the triple rod and going to another mission. Either way, though, we're going back to the underground lab, because this is another thing I could have done at the end of the previous mission, but I was interrupted by ol' Hittites. 2 missions ago, anyway. Not the last mission was blowing up a tank. Anyway, though, yeah, the lab is completely destroyed, so anything you missed is gone until the next cycle. So if you missed that very first cyber elf that was hidden, it's just dead. And not in the normal good way that helps you. You do get access to this elf, though. That wasn't available before, but yeah, everything else is dead as hell. So... I didn't want to bring that up necessarily, because that was kind of a spoiler, but, yeah, you will want to get as much as you can as soon as you can. Though, considering a lot of elves are based on, killing enemies and you only get one shot at that per cycle anyway, you should probably really be aiming for that for the most part. Anyway, this is the triple rod. We finally get to use it, and as its name suggests, eventually, we'll be able to basically just do a triple attack that extends pretty far out. However, you can also do... If we just, do that, yeah, you can actually do kind of a DuckTales pogo attack with it. It's a little hard to pull off, if only because it's just kind of hard to jump in this game without holding a direction. But you do need to be holding down when you pogo jump in order to do that. I have had so many instances where I diagonal attack instead, and that will not pogo you, unfortunately. It would have been nice if that, like, at least gave you some horizontal movement or something, but no, it just fails as a pogo attack. Thankfully, that's not required for too many things. That is one of the few points where I'll actually be using the pogo attack. But until we get more upgrades, we won't be able to use the rod to its full extent. This right here is why you want Hittite to dig through at least part of the building, because there is a cyber elf here, as you probably could have guessed. This passage leads to the subway, so don't drop straight down or you just die. Bit of a nasty surprise there. But the triple rod, of course, as I've said before, pretty much all of Zero's weaponry is based on the Z-Saber. The Buster Shot takes Zero's battery to be more powerful than the average Buster. Basically, especially now that we have the Z-Saber, we just kind of plug that in, and it's all good. Triple Rod, again, is kind of derived from the Z-Saber. Servo is basically just making forks for our weapons. So the Z-Saber has been basically remade into a rod that can be used. It's kind of hard to describe Zero's weaponry because, you know, he can change between things so quickly if he really needs to, so, like, it's not exactly like a dedicated rod. If you look at the official art, yeah, it looks like that, but it must be able to collapse pretty quickly as well, since it's also part Z-Saber. Guess it's just the pointy bit gets turned into a spear instead of a sword. Anyway, though, we have protected the resistance base. If we hadn't, again, we'd be in the end game right now. So, don't mess up there, or you miss a lot of video game. So yeah, that will do. Next time we'll get back on track and, I don't know, maybe save some resistance members. It's pretty likely that's a thing that'll happen.